In this video, I actually just want to share with you my joy over the years with amigurumi. I discovered amigurumi 9 years ago when my oldest daughter was expecting, and it was also now my first grandchild on the way. So I then looked for patterns and I thought I'm just going to start and do it. And then I realized actually how extremely easy it is because it's so repetitive. What I then did is, for instance, for my granddaughter and after that for other expecting moms, I would crochet Ugly Duckling and I will buy the little book with the story of the Ugly Duckling. Now, surely this is in Afrikaans, and it is a book for a toddler. These books with the hard pages that they can surely page, and then I have now the character accompanying it. I will show you now as I put it together. Here in South Africa, we cannot do affiliate marketing for Amazon, but I've seen that this book is advertised on Amazon. Now, I came across this book when I've started now to crochet these toys for my granddaughter. This is the head, and the book is really so clear on the instructions because they said between round 15 and 16, and the rounds you can easily count. You can see these circles. So there I've already put the marker in between round 15 and 16. You put in a safety eye. These safety eyes look like that, and then it has a screw that you put on the inside, and then it's hard for the little one, even if they bite it, that it can come loose. And then you just now put the screw on, and it is already some really hard to push in. This one push in a bit easier, but then it's really hard to get it out. And then the instructions also say clearly that there must be 5 stitches between the eyes. And let me just make sure before I push it in that it is now 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3. It's 5 stitches. And I put in the other eye, and now I can start filling it with fiber fill. And even this book tells you how much fiber fill you need to push in. Now for the fiber fill, you can use ones that you have bought, like this one is quite a springy one. It's quite lovely. I bought that at a mattress shop. This is now quite firmly stuffed. Normally here at the heads, you need to put in a lot of filling. And again, she tells you how much you need to put in because she gives you the circumference of the head once you have filled it. The pattern also tells you that the tail end is the center back. So you know this is the center back. And because I've already inserted the eyes, then I will just place the two like that this is the center back. And what I do then normally is I would take long pins, and I will just now have this, and I'll just pin it somewhere here that I pin it in position. But because I put the body first to the head, I'm not so much worried if there is a little bit of movement. But what you will also see with these patterns is that the number of stitches that you end the body with and the number of stitches that you end the head with are the same number. So that makes it also easy to stitch up. You just take stitch by stitch. And now here you just need to maneuver yourself in here, or the needle in here, and there we go. Here we start the process. And it's really not difficult. When one look at amigurumi and you look at the amigurumi animals, it really looks far more daunting than what it is. It's actually so enjoyable. And look there, you can see that the stitching is quite easy. And because you also do it with the same color yarn, you can normally not even see where the stitches are. what I normally do when I sew a body to a head, then I sew it up till it's halfway sewn up or more, and then I first put a bit more fiber fill in. Here it won't be a problem, but in some animals where the neck is a bit long, you don't want the neck later to hang. I've seen it with, for instance, let me just think now, a rabbit. I've seen it with rabbit, with a giraffe neck also. And the moment when you just put in enough stuffing, then it really can't happen. And now you just have to look first and see if you're still on track. But it is because I did start here in the center back. And now, like I say, now there's an opening still here big enough that I can at least put my hand in there. And now I can just put a bit more fiber fill in there. Because you can't do it at the beginning, because then in any case it will pop up again because it's over the top then filled. So you just put a bit more in. And I've never had a problem with necks hanging. Let me just stitch it up further. I actually become so, I can almost say, attached to animals after I've crocheted them, that I actually need to look at them for a few days before I can let go. It's the weirdest feeling. They become almost like your children in a way. I've listened to a program of a lady in South Africa. She lives in George, that has now been certified or got the honors to be called a master quilter. And the guy that did the interview with her also asked, "What are you doing with all of these quilts?" And she said, "I just need to sleep one night under a quilt, the quilt that I've made, and then I'm happy to let it go." And I thought, I think she also experienced what we experience when you make these toys, is that, it's just so, the satisfaction, I think, and to think that you have produced something makes it just slightly hard to then let it go. In COVID time, I actually started and did a whole family of these toys. We were teaching online, but many pupils were actually not ready to be taught online with all electronic equipment. So we were limited with how much we could do on time, the time limit for the online teaching. So then we had a bit more time. So I would sit and crochet these toys in the time when we had a total lockdown. And like that, the toys have become really a collection there in our living room. And you see how you make progress. You can see how I just go over again, over some stitches. You just need to make sure after you've done half of a neck that you just see that you're on track, because it is quite hard to undo it when you have to, if you have made a mistake somewhere, because it's the same yarn. You have to be very careful that you don't then cut the crocheting yarn instead of the sewing yarn. I think that is fine. There is still a scarf that will be also around the ugly duckling's neck, although this duckling is not going to be ugly. Now here for the little hat. The hat must be positioned that it's just there above the eyes. It's really one row above the eyes. Come out again. And you can see it must still be, there it is. I don't want it to even pull in. There it goes. Wipe maybe one stitch here. The pattern doesn't say it must be stitched to the head. This is just my own decision, because from my experience with little ones, sometimes the hat can fall away when baby's in the pram, and then mom and dad look for it and can't find it. So it's better for me later. They can just cut it off. I will just tell them. Now we're going to put the beak here in position. I just see that this yarn is not long enough for sewing. I must have left a longer sewing tail and I didn't. So I'm going to rather take another piece of yarn. This I'll just work here into the beak. The beak must be just positioned below the eyes. So what it really now helps to put in these long pins. We take one and put it in. And then you take the other one and put it in. I can still put it a bit more. Must be very close to the eyes that the picture shows. Something like this. Here you also go stitch by stitch, I would think. So I just go through the bottom stitches and then I go into the through a stitch here of the head. And then again here from the top. There's actually no method. You just take it slowly and you stitch it up. So cute. The beak is in place. Now we can head for the wings. You first just put it in place and then you check from the front if you feel that is the correct position, just like this. And then again here, the pattern actually said that you must press it, the wings, and they show even how you need to press it, is that you wet it slightly, the way that you would block even squares. But I didn't do it. I still think it would be fine. And come, let us have a look. So there you have it. And I can see the wings are in the correct place. And that's the lovely thing if you first sew the body to the head and then you do the limbs. Because now you can look and see if they position correctly. Look how gorgeous. Now I can also sew on the feet. I have sewing tails. And then it's just for the scarf that needs to get pom-poms at the end.